is doomed to failure.
When this fails, will you vote for a one-week clean CR?
How dare you presume a failure? How dare you? How dare you?
Harry,
how dare you presume a failure?
Harry,
the fact is, this country is based on people saying they won't do things, and at the end of the day, coming together for compromise.
Okay, everyone, sit down for a moment and watch this interview, because Congressman Issa is standing by at the Capitol with our chief congressional correspondent, Dana Bash. Dana, take it away.
Hey, Don, thank you, and thank you for joining us. Are you going to yell at me?
Well, only if you presume that somehow a Senate that says they won't compromise means that anything we offer, we haven't even offered anything yet, is dead on arrival. Well, you know, that's just not the American way.
Well, since you made that rather tame statement earlier today, the President of the United States, who does have a say in this, issued a veto threat. So the
president will talk to and compromise with a dictator of a terrorist state like Iran, but he won't talk to John Boehner and try to reach some reasonable compromise on a bill that he himself has delayed more than 8 times. You understand, the president has unilaterally delayed all kinds of things in this bill that isn't ready. The president knows that that so-called medical device tax actually will lose money, not make money, because it jacks up the cost of everything that we use, from stents to your replacement hip and so on. Not that you have one. So you really look at this and realize there are things that should be negotiated. The president said, give me everything and then we'll talk about it. This is the time to say there are things we know are not right in Obamacare. Let's change them. And delay in this case so that Americans are not forced to buy health care before they know what's in it. That's a good idea.
Now, this whole line that you use and your colleagues are using, it's not a bad line, saying that the president will negotiate with the president of Iran, but not you all. But let's just cut through it. I know it's hard because sometimes the air here...
He'll also use Putin as
the air here makes it hard to be candid, but I know that you're a candid guy. So sure. The reality is that the speaker isn't somebody who he can negotiate with right now, because he's too busy negotiating with you all, with not necessarily you, but with your Republican brethren, to try to figure out what kind of combination, what kind of formula of attachments on the spending bill he can get votes on from you guys. Never mind him negotiating with the president. There would be no point in him negotiating with him over something he can't pass.
Look, many Republicans would like far more than what we're going to vote on tonight. But the fact is, trying to protect the American people, trying to bring some certainty for the next year, is something we believe very strongly. And the Speaker has 218 votes for that. He won't have a single Democrat, perhaps. But this is a compromise we're trying to do. And when we keep hearing from the Senate and from the President that they just won't compromise, it's their way or no way. You know, the interesting thing is President Obama said elections have consequences. But it turns out they only have consequences when he wins. When the American people, the majority of American people, are represented by Republicans now here in the House, somehow there's no consequences.
He's not the only person who has said that. John McCain was on the Senate floor just a day or two ago. He knows something about running against the president. He did it himself. He said himself, elections have consequences. We lost not once but twice the White House. They didn't win the control back of the Senate, not once but twice. And you are a very successful businessman. You know simple math, and the simple math is you do have the votes over here to do what you want. But once it gets to the Senate, which is run by Democrats, and never mind the White House, which is the president is a Democrat.
Donna, the president will shut down the government. The Senate will shut down the government if they won't negotiate any compromise. Now, Speaker Boehner is having to compromise within our conference. He would love to be compromising between Democrats and Republicans, but former Speaker Pelosi didn't compromise when they created this flawed bill, and she's not in the mood for compromising now. You know, I tweeted out today that what we started out wanting to do with health care was take care of some problems like pre-existing conditions, portability. We said that, in a sense, and this has been said by Hillary Clinton, this has been said by John Kerry, it's been said by one after another famous politicians. Senator Kennedy, the late Senator Kennedy, said the American people should have the same health care the president, the vice president, members of Congress, and the senators and every federal employee has. Instead of giving them what we have, we're telling them that they have to take a pig in the poke. And right now, those exchanges are unknown. So when people in the House, myself included, feel very strongly that they should know what they're getting before they're forced to get it, that's not unreasonable. In 2 days or 3 days, Obamacare takes effect. and no one knows what their health care plans are going to be. They're not established. The president's behind in his schedule of implementation. All we're asking him to do is wait till he's ready before implementation. President's not willing to negotiate. That means he's willing to go forward with a risky program simply because he wants to do it.
Let's fast forward a day or two to when we're actually at the day that perhaps the government shuts down. At the end of the day, will you be willing to, you, Darrell Issa, be willing to vote at any time for a spending bill that is just clean, that has no strings attached?
For 1 day? For 2 days? For 5 days? Sure. But this is the time to resolve some of these problems. And, you know, people are missing the point on the medical device tax. Simple math. You said I was a businessman. I did pretty well in business. If you tell me I'm going to have a 4% increase in the cost of a good, I'm going to pass it on with a little premium. So the idea that you're going to fund this bill with a tax that causes the very products we buy to be more expensive means that Medicare, Medicaid, all these things are going to be paying more. That means that this is a tax that actually will reduce the availability of health care. The president knows it. At a minimum, the Senate should be saying, okay, we'll go along on the medical device tax, maybe a slight delay on the American people being forced to buy something before it's ready. But we're not getting negotiation. And I think that what Speaker Boehner is doing in the House, which is looking for negotiation here between moderates and conservatives, they should be doing that in the Senate.
Darrell Issa, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Don, back to you.